Hello, Musto0063 back for part 7 of Mega Man and Bass. 5 Robot Masters down, 3 to go. And I truly believe that the 3 left are the hardest of the bunch, taking into account both the stage and the bosses, particularly the Robot Masters, I have to say. And the first of the 3 remaining ones that we're going to go after is Dynamo Man. And as you'll hopefully immediately appreciate, Dynamo's stage borrows heavily from Grenade stage from Mega Man 8. We've immediately got these destroyable blocks, these are things that blow up. So yeah, Dynamo mapped to Grenade from Mega Man 8. A couple of paths we could take on this stage, but with Mega Man Slide we can take the lower path. Of course, Bass couldn't take that path, he can't slide, so we'll have to take the upper one with Bass, and I'll at least get the show off both paths. But we've got a few electric generators here, to take those out as quickly as possible, and this electric barrier. So here's me just demonstrating, this I wasn't quite sure if I get to show it off later, that you have to destroy both eyes of the generator, otherwise the electric barrier will simply reform. So yeah, take out both and you should be fine. Of course, it's in a position where you can just slide through, as I could have done there, then no problem. But yeah, I thought I'd demonstrate that you would need to take out both of those eyes to take out the generator itself. We saw a couple of Mets, or fire Mets, which are really freaking annoying because the fire can be very troublesome to dodge when it's at its highest height. When you kill the Met, it also just kind of lays there on the ground. Not so much of a problem on normal ground, but on the conveyor belts here can be a hell of a thing. So yeah, if it's kind of moving in your direction, then yeah, just watch out for the remnants of the fire, a bit like there. If you kill the Met, yeah, it will just kind of hang around on the conveyor belt. These conveyor belts can be particularly annoying, by the way, because the current, or trying to fight against them, is a pain. They are rather strong, or they get rather quick, rather fast, and actually if you keep kind of moving on them, they'll get so fast that you can't actually simply just walk on them. So yeah, sometimes you'll have to kind of like just keep jumping just to make sure that the conveyor belts don't gather speed. When you get the opportunities with the solid ground just to stop, so here for instance I've stopped, mainly actually here because this section is really tight to get through because you have to effectively kind of slide on those conveyor belts, and if they're already moving you'll tend to find that you kind of like just set them off going way too fast, and it's a hell of a thing to get through. So yeah, I kind of took the time there to stop and just yeah, pause and let the conveyor belt stop so that I could get through quite easily. This is a room with multiple paths. We'll see it again in a bit more detail, probably with Bass and also when collecting CDs. But yeah, a few enemies there with, or these split apart enemies. So yeah, take out the top parts. Otherwise, if you take out the lower path, the head will just kind of stick around, and yeah, it'll be troublesome. And here is the mid boss, which is called Move Cannon. And yeah, thanks to the Game Boy Advance, is limited showing of what's going on screen, you actually could spend ages mucking around with these lower 2 cannons to try and take them out. But of course, what you actually need to aim for are the 2 higher ones. If you just keep taking out the lower ones, they'll respawn in. And anyway, this is a really annoying fight, simply because of these projectiles it shoots out, which kind of circle you. You can kill them, but they just kind of like keeps kind of spawning in. You've got the goop there, which you get stuck in, and there's also one other move there where they form a where the two lower cannons can go lower down, form a laser that you actually have to then kind of try to jump and avoid, because it will keep kind of moving up and down. Incredibly annoying to avoid with Mega Man. Slightly easier with Bass because he has a double jump, but yeah, Mega Man doesn't, so it can be really freaking annoying. Thankfully, he didn't do that move, but yeah, something to watch out for. Apologies, we've gone into a few of these screens, but they're all much the same anyway. So we have a couple of these screens where we have a passing light, which more or less just illuminates the screen. I was taking my time on these sets of screens just so that I could hopefully be a half-watt decent Let's Player and actually show off the entirety of the screen. I do know where to go, I do know the safe path, but I thought I would at least let the light kind of go through one cycle just to show, you know, what's going on where. Because obviously I could just rush through the screen knowing exactly where to go, but yeah, it would be a bit hard to follow exactly what's going on. And that's the last of those screens. Since there's a CD up there that I don't want to get yet, I'll take the lower path, which means I have to deal with the Mets. But since it gave me the health icon, or the health upgrade that I would have got had I taken the upper path, decent outcome at the end of the day. Back to another room with the conveyor belts, and in this room, and I think in all these sets of last sets of screens, the conveyor belt actually working, going in your direction this time, so you're going with the flow of the conveyor belt rather than having to fight against it. Of course, that means you have to be careful not to kind of just go too quick, because again, there are lots of pits around, lots of enemies, so you don't want to have the conveyor belt going really, really fast. Otherwise, you'll just yeah, you'll kind of end up probably coming a cropper. And that jump there, by the way, is incredibly annoying with Mega Man, or incredibly tight at least. You have to be right on the edge of the conveyor belt. I've seen this number of times I've fallen in that pit. It's not funny. So yeah, incredibly tight jump with Mega Man. Of course, when we see doing the base Let's Play, or base playthrough, it'll be a lot easier to make that jump. Mega Man, not so much. And coming up to the end here, really freaking annoyingly placed enemy, but yeah. Oh well. That brings us to Dynamo Man, and holy crap do I hate this boss fight. Mainly because all of his attacks are so annoying to dodge. And one other reason we'll see later, but yeah, this is the attack I really don't want him to do. On the Game Boy Advance version, I swear I'm going to be complaining like the Game Boy Advance versus SNES again, but on the Game Boy Advance, those projectiles are so hard to dodge. This is the move you want him to do, Mega Man or Base. Those electric barriers, they are so easy to destroy, or so easy to kind of get by. But here's the real annoyance with Dynamo Man. When you get him down to a certain amount of health, he goes up to the top, spawns a generator and heals himself. Look how much health he's regained. It's ridiculous. Back to this move again. If the pattern of these electric kind of things works in your favour, they can be easy enough to dodge with Mega Man Slide. Believe me, with Base it's even harder to avoid them. But if you just get a pattern, something like this, where they just go in the worst possible places, it's a nightmare to try to dodge them. And he's got one final attack here where he summons lightning bolts down from the sky, which I find really hard to avoid with, on this Mega Man playthrough. And weren't expecting that, were you? Collector's item. I'm not too proud to include a death on a Robot Master. I believe this is the first Robot Master I have shown during a Let's Play that I have died on. Or at least one that I didn't go into with absolutely ridiculously low amount of health. Collector's item. I don't believe we've seen that before. But yeah, certainly not too proud to include it. Anyway, this attack with the electric beams, you can actually stop him from doing the lightning shot if you shoot at him. Sometimes he'll shoot the projectiles at you, and that's kind of a good thing. But it seems fairly random whether or not he'll actually kind of stop to do it. Sometimes he'll shoot some out and he'll only do one lightning. Sometimes he'll do two. If you leave him alone, he'll do three. But yeah, I was having a hell of a time trying to dodge the bloody lightning with Mega Man. And of course, you've just seen there, he can actually go up and heal himself while he's doing another attack, making it even more obnoxious. If, at least on the first go, he was somewhat kind in the sense that I could just concentrate on destroying that generator. There I had to dodge these sodding things as well. God, this boss fight's annoying as hell. So this one's so easy. Destroy the first one that's low, slide under the next one and destroy the other one. The other ones will just go over your head. It's super easy to avoid that attack. That's the one you want to praying for him to do. By the way there, he doesn't just go up and refill himself once, potentially. I truly believe that if I hadn't killed him there with that charge shot, at the end of that jump across the screen, or slide across the screen, he'd have gone up and healed himself again. Oh, God, I hate that fight. And we'll see how it goes with Base in just a little while. But we get a very, very nice weapon, Lightning Bolt, which we've already seen before, showing off and getting some CDs. But yeah, it basically summons a whole bunch of lightning bolts down from the screen and pretty much obliterates all enemies on screen, at least all minor enemies. Some of the bulky ones that it won't kill a mid-boss in one hit, but all minor enemies like the tellies or the just sure there, or fire mets or something like that, the lightning bolt would destroy them. It's a costly weapon, admittedly, for such a high kind of powerful one where it pretty much obliterates all enemies on screen. So yeah, you don't get many uses out of it, at least not off the bat anyway. You can collect a shop upgrade that will allow you to use less weapon energy when getting weapons. I strongly advise you get that. But yeah, bare bones, it's a bit more. But you don't get too much use out of it. But anyway, on to Base's playthrough of the stage. So, as I said before, we can't actually go the lower route, so we have to go up. And yeah, there's a CD right in the way. And since I'm doing my best to limit the CDs to the last parts, I'm going to have to be very cautious here. And I'm in fact just going to take the hit because I couldn't be bothered trying to kill that enemy. And yeah, instead of collect the CD, which is there in full view, I'll collect all my CD collecting, apart from the one I screwed up on Astro's stage, to the end. So yeah, unnecessary hit, unnecessary stupidity, because I frankly could have just got walked and got the CD, but oh well, yeah. I shall try and keep those to the end parts of the stage, and not collect them during the regular Let's Play. Of course, this section with Base, I slid under there with Mega Man before. Of course, Base can't do that, so we have to go up the top. Not really any extra hardship, really. Just destroy the grenade kind of style blockade in your path, and yeah, you're fine. This section with the conveyor belts is probably a little bit easier, I'd say, with Base, just because of his double jump, meaning that you can spend more time in the air so that the conveyor belts don't end up going super fast. It's also a lot easier just to avoid the enemies, the fire mets, or particularly when the fire goes quite high, like it did there, or the propeller enemies, helicopter enemies, whatever. Again, just because you can get much easier manoeuvrability with Base, either with his dash or double jump. Of course, things like dealing with Sniper Joe here in the most awkward position of that conveyor belt becomes a little bit more annoying with Base because his buster is a bit weaker, but it's still not too bad. And again, Base's ability to shoot upwards is a big help with the tellies if they're getting in, if you find they're getting in your way too much. Similarly here, I stopped there to pause and then kind of dash through with Base. Again, we can't even slide there, so yeah, we'll have to kind of hold on for a bit longer. But here's another route you can take, as I'm showing off with Base. His double jump and dash ability means we can go another slight different way during this screen. We come out of the exact same top area naturally, but yeah, just an alternate path there, or an alternate way of clearing that screen with Base's ability. You can actually do that as well with Mega Man. You need the ice wall. I'll actually see that a little bit later on, but yeah. I much prefer just, if I'm not collecting CDs or anything, just mucking around or going to the left-hand route with Mega Man. So, here's the problem with Base on this one. Although he's got a slightly easier job, I think, of dodging things, and here we see the laser one, and as you can see here how it's moving, it's still a little bit tricky to actually do with Base. You still need some quite good timing there, but as you can see, with the double jump ability, it's still much easier than it is with Mega Man. But yeah, the problem here comes from the fact, and admittedly he can shoot upwards and diagonally upwards, so that's really helpful for taking out the kind of cannons at the top. But they just take so long to destroy. Base's buster again is just so much weaker than Mega Man's. A few charge shots and they're pretty much down. But you're consigned to using Base's bare bone buster. And yeah, it just takes ages to destroy them. And so you wanted to do the laser spawning attack a lot this time. You can, as I've kind of done there as well, actually destroy the smaller cannons just to kind of prevent them from doing the laser attack. They're both of them will need to be there in order for it to do that. And it'll also kind of stall it out from doing other moves as well. But generally, I just prefer, particularly with Base, just to kind of go for the top one because it just takes so long otherwise. You're just almost another one will spawn in like, super quick. So yeah, obviously when one is destroyed, it might be a good idea probably to take out the other one just so that it can't do the laser, and you can kind of keep, as I'm kind of doing here, keeping the lower cannon occupied while I attack the top one. But yeah, apologies, that takes so long with Base just because the buster's just so much weaker. Theoretically, of course, it could be so much stronger if you buy an upgrade. But at the moment, as I say, I'm going through all the Robert Arthur stages with the bare bones Base. So yeah, his Base buster is pretty paltry in comparison to Mega Man's. Bubble back there, I completely failed to notice. It's brilliant. I do, of course, potentially have to take a slightly different route on some of these dark screens with Base, because again, Mega Man can slide, Base can't. I'm not sure. I can't remember whether I took the exact same route. Actually, I may have done, but yeah. Certainly for Mega Man you can take some alternate paths by sliding, but yeah, Base does not have that luxury. And I was going for the dash double jump loop around there to collect the health up there on the top path, because of course I couldn't just take the top path to collect the CD, but yeah, failed to pull it off. And I failed to collect that health that the propeller enemy carried away. Really freaking annoying, that. Particularly when it's health or something that you desperately need. The giant bolt there kind of got away as well. Not that I was so disappointed by that, but the health would have been super useful. As I say, once again with the conveyor belt section, Base's ability to kind of double jump and kind of stall out the conveyor belts, I think this makes it far easier to traverse through this with Base rather than Mega Man. As generally with all levels pretty much, but yeah, particularly in this one. Still a really freakingly annoyingly placed copter enemy at the end there. And that brings us to Base's fight with Dynamo, who, as I said, has a hell of a more tricky time dodging stuff, or at least the electric ball attack, simply because he can't even slide. So, of course, what does Dynamo wants to do? He wants to spam. It's brilliant. This is so much harder to avoid with Base than Mega Man. If you thought I was doing bad with Mega Man, holy hell. Of course, Base is a lot weaker with his buster as well, so not only that, the fight drags on longer because I can't charge shot at him. However, I do get good at dodging the lightning attack, which once you get into a set routine is not so bad. I don't know why I was screwing up so horribly with Mega Man. It's actually not so bad. And here's the barrier attack, so it's a very similar kind of process with Base. Just double jump the annoying one rather than sliding under it. But yeah, it's difficult, because it's a difficult kind of thing who I almost prefer, because that attack's harder to avoid with Base. This, however, when he goes up. Sorry, I'm a bit premature there. I thought he was going to go up and heal himself. We'll do that in a minute. That is, again, obviously so much easier to do with base because he can shoot upwards. So you saw how much health Dynamo gained when he was playing with Mega Man. You have to jump on the platforms. Look at how quickly base can take that out. With his Super Buster, you can take that out even quicker. Admittedly, Mega Man can take that out quicker with a certain weapon or weapons, or a particular weapon that shoots upwards is really helpful. Yeah, base does at least have the advantage of being able to shoot upwards and take out that health generator super quick. So while I find it more difficult to avoid Dynamo with base, and obviously the fight from here takes longer because when I'm regular bones I make regular base I don't have his upgrade, and I'm perfectly willing and able to use charge shots with Mega Man. The fight might be longer, but I probably don't have to deal with 1.5 times a health bar with base because Mega Man Dynamo is just going to heal so freaking much. At least if I'm not using weapons to take out the generator, or sorry, the health generator quicker. Oi. But there you go, that's Dynamo taken care of. So let's have a look at the CDs, shall we? So we're going to start off right at the beginning. And this time we are not going to destroy the second breakable wall here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get out Ice Wall, I'm going to ride on it and get up here, and then slide through there. So you cannot get down with base, you have to slide through there. Again, it's very difficult to see without the GBA limitations, but yeah, Mega Man has to get that one, not base. And there's a CD in plain sight that I could have got ages ago, but didn't. So at the bottom of this shaft, you get the little sparkles there, so yeah, get out Rush Search and dig up the CD. Of course, we can see there's some tellies spawning in there, so what we have to do is just perpetually shoot the tellies so that they don't go into Rush and interrupt him digging up the CD. But that one's not too bad. Believe me, there are far worse ones where you have to kind of keep enemies away from Rush. That one is straightforward in comparison. And on this conveyor belt screen, as I get whacked by that same fireman, I think, you can see sparkles on the platform just behind the Sniper Joe. So we'll take that out again with the tellies. So again, we'll have to take them out as we're going through to avoid them going for Rush. I don't know. It seems that they always tend to aim for Mega Man anyways. You can clearly see the direction of that telly was going for Mega Man, not Rush. So yeah, maybe you don't need to be quite so cute on that, but still, you might as well try and take them out just in case they end up going for Rush. Here we are back at the split path screen, and as I said before, you can get over there with Mega Man. There's a demonstration, get out Ice Wall, and in fact we're going to need to, because as you saw there are sparkles on this platform in the centre, so yeah, we're going to have to get out Rush and get him to dig out the CD. And there are actually 2 more CDs on the screen, so yeah, we'll stick with Mega Man and we'll use Ice Wall to get back to the left. And you can see a CD there that's kind of blocked by the burner, or the burn blocks. So what we're going to do is, because we couldn't get it from the other side, or we couldn't destroy it, we're going to use the burner weapon from the left-hand side, through the wall, because of course Mega Man shoot through the wall, and get rid of it that way. If we waited till we're on the right-hand side, we'd be out of luck. But yeah, but before we get that one, there's a ladder on the left-hand side there, and a really slightly tricky placed CD there, where you have to slide through, and just be careful that you don't go too far to hit the spikes. Obviously, if you've got spike protection, then you'll be fine, or indeed you could just take to obviously lose a life and get the CD. But yeah, I want to be somewhat professional, so I'd like to survive, get the CD and not die. Thank you. And then of course we'll go round to in the middle section and collect the CD, having got rid of the wave blocks. Oh, sorry, the fire blocks. And in the little boss or mini boss area with the gates on either side, yeah, there is an area where we have to use Rush Search to dig out a CD. So yeah, that's the thing. I will skip the mid boss because it takes forever, and yeah, you don't want to see all that again. We have sparkles indicating that we need to use Rush Search on one of the screens where where we've only got this little light. So we'll take out all the enemies on screen just to make sure we don't wake them, or make sure that they don't pile into Rush. If I'd stayed far enough away, it might not have even been that they'd woken up, but still, I thought, be on the safe side, take out all the enemies first, let's just clear the screen, be nice and calm, and then we'll use Rush Search to dig out the CD. So, final screen with the darkness, we'll be back to the room where there was the CD that in plain sight that I missed, and pay attention to the Met down there. there was a set of sparkles underneath the net. So yes, indeed, 2 CDs in this room, rather like that one in Magic Man's stage at the end of the screen, where there was one that was not in plain sight, but just kind of hidden behind a wall, and also one we had to dig out, use Rush Search to dig it out. There are 2 in this one up there at the top, and one there where we have to use Rush Search underneath where the Met was. And I believe that leaves 1 CD for Mega Man, and this one's a little bit more involved. So yeah, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get rid of all these enemies on the conveyor belt, or get as many as I can, and then set the conveyor belt by walking on it as fast as I can, so that then I actually go too fast for the conveyor belt, and I'll end up going in the direction, and then slide through there. That was a bit difficult to see, so here is a slowed down version. So yeah. Get the conveyor belt going as fast as it can, so actually you end up going backwards on it, slide through there, there's a CD dropping down from the ceiling. Yeah, that was kind of hard to see. You probably saw it a bit clearer actually on the Let's Play rather than there. We're actually getting it. You don't get to see it quite so much, but yeah. Anyway, that was the last of Mega Man CDs, and that only leaves 1 CD. So yeah, Bass is not getting much additional airtime this video, unfortunately. But yeah, there's only 1 CD where we really need to use Bass, and that's this area here, where there was a ladder up there, and we need Bass's double jump ability to get up there. It might be possible, I suppose, to get up there with Mega Man, the combination with Ice Wall, and some very good timing and jumping. But yeah, it's far easier to just use Bass. And so yeah, he hadn't had any of the CDs this video, so why not use him? So you go all the way to the left, and there is a CD behind a set of burn blocks. So burn the blocks, grab the CD, and that is it. So thank you for watching. That's the end of part 7, and hey, I hope to see you next time for a new Robot Master stage for part 8. Cheerio.